Kia ora koutou. It's feeling like sprummer, something between spring and summer. Today's a big day in the garden where I'm going to plant out most or about half of the summer seedlings. It feels like the timing is right. The nights are a bit warmer and the weather's been a bit more settled this week, but I'll save a few for later just in case we get another period of rough weather that hits. I believe we have had our last frost, which was the 1st of October, but I am glad that I've waited. While there have been some absolutely gorgeous spring days, there have been a couple of really wet periods and cold snaps and really strong winds, which plants like tomatoes just wouldn't have been a fan of. I'm also glad I waited because a few weeks ago I had a slight disaster. Wind knocked down a makeshift gate that I had put up temporarily in front of the garden, and the lovely sheep got through and they damaged a few cabbages and beets, but mostly they just went for the winter cover crop that I had in there. While it's not ideal, I'm grateful it happened before all the summer planting out, otherwise it would have undone all this hard work and patience preparation over the last couple of months. That actually happened 2 summers ago, my first summer here, where we had some friends house sitting for us, and they let the cows into a paddock they didn't know they weren't supposed to put in, and they went and obliterated the entire veggie garden. And so I had a terrible harvest that year and lost a lot of crops. October has come with some much welcomed growth. We've got the 2 white Galloway steers who are absolutely loving gorging themselves. We have the self-shedding Wiltshire sheep here, and all the lambs looking really healthy and strong. I recently purchased a captive bolt pistol and some butchering gear so we can do our own meat. And while I've skinned and butchered before, I'd never slaughtered a lamb. I definitely gave it a lot of thought, and I certainly don't enjoy killing or take it lightly at all. But I did come to the conclusion that I do want to eat some meat, and if that's the case, I prefer to be intimately involved in the animal's life rather than buy blindly just nicely packaged meat and cuts in the supermarket. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but I do believe it is good to consider the life of the animal when we do consume meat. There is a deep meaning and appreciation seeing how much time and care it takes to raise something to get it to your plate. I'm so grateful for the lamb. The meat has been delicious, and it's going to feed me and my extended family for many meals. We have Orpingtons, a meat and egg breed. We're getting so many eggs right now we can't keep up with eating them all, and I have to give them away. Over early spring we had 2 broody girls on eggs and 12 eggs in an incubator. Neither of the girls had any of their eggs hatch, which I think is because something managed to get in there and spook them off their eggs for too long. And out of the 12 in the incubator, 3 hatched, which I think was due to us getting a power cut due to some really intense winds. This meant the incubator went cold for a while. So, not the greatest success rate. What we did manage to do was get one of the clucky hens to adopt 3 that came from the incubator, and they seem really happy with their adopted mum. I've let the garden go pretty weedy over the winter, and I've had some green cover crop over the soil, which the sheep have kindly trimmed back for me as well. I'm going to clear all the weeds and cover crops, chop all the greens up, and then once I've chopped them up reasonably finely, I'm going to put them back on top of the soil again. Chopping plants at ground level leaves the roots in the soil, which apparently breaks down as a good source of carbon for the soil. Once the roots decompose, it leaves a lot of nice little capillary tunnels for aeration, water flow, and for the worms to travel through, rather than dig the roots out, which disturbs all the microbiology under the soil. Then I'm adding another layer of compost, which I never have enough of. All the plants going in today have been grown from seed. Some started as early as August. Most of the plants are heirloom varieties, which basically means they're the old varieties of vegetables that people have used for generations. I've been hardening the seedlings off where I've been gradually giving them more and more time outside. It's so they get used to the environment out here, so it doesn't shock them as much when they go into the soil out in the main garden. In this bed, I'm getting them some little zucchinis, which I'm giving a good watering of diluted seaweed tonic, which will give them some essential minerals and elements and reduce any transplant shock. So zucchinis are in, but there is plenty more to go. Stoke sponsor me, send me beer. Well, that's a wrap. That's the main summer planting done for the season of 2021. It's a beautiful day, and now I'm going to chill and relax. But thank you for watching. If you did make it this far, ka kite anō.